You're buying ground beef at Walmart, but how much of that package is actually beef? 7 brands on those shelves right now may be delivering a significant portion of their cell weight as retained water, and 2026 independent lab testing puts the numbers into perspective. From budget store labels to premium Angus lines, each product on this list raises a different red flag about what you're really paying for. Let's break down the first one. Number 1, Great Value 73% lean ground beef is Walmart's flagship budget option, and it's a bestseller for a reason. The price per pound is often the lowest in the meat case. In 2026, shoppers found the national average at just under $5 per pound, sometimes as low as $4.99 per pound for the big 10-pound rolls. But the savings come with a trade-off, and it's not just about fat content. The label promises 73% lean, 27% fat, but what's missing is any mention of where the beef comes from or how fresh it really is. Farm-level traceability isn't required for this product, and the packaging offers no details about sourcing or age, just a USDA inspection stamp and a processing establishment number. Federal regulations are clear. Ground beef must not contain added water or phosphates, but the law doesn't require companies to disclose how much natural moisture is retained after processing. Great Value's product is processed in high-volume facilities where moisture retention can creep up, especially when beef is ground and stored in bulk packaging. Independent lab testing in 2026 found that the moisture content in these rolls consistently hovered near the USDA maximum allowable threshold for ground beef, around 73% water by weight. That means for every pound you buy, nearly 3/4 is water and fat, not actual muscle protein. For shoppers, the impact shows up at home. When this beef hits a hot pan, a flood of liquid pools in the skillet, and the meat shrinks dramatically, sometimes losing more than 1/4 of its weight during cooking. That's the hidden cost. You're paying beef prices for water that cooks away. With no farm-to-table transparency and no clear labeling on moisture retention, Great Value 73% lean puts the burden on the consumer to guess what's really in the package. In second place, market-side ground beef positions itself as Walmart's answer to the premium meat case, promising freshness and quality at a moderate price. The packaging often touts phrases like fresh, never frozen, and packed for Walmart by select partners, but the real story lies in how this product reaches the shelf. Unlike the budget rolls, market-side is centrally packaged, sometimes at facilities up to 900 miles from where it is finally sold. That centralized system means the beef can spend days in transit and storage, with each step increasing the opportunity for moisture to be retained in the meat. Lab analysis in 2026 revealed that market-side ground beef consistently hovered around 68% retained moisture by weight. That puts it just below the USDA's upper limit for ground beef, but still means that nearly 2/3 of the package is water and fat rather than lean protein. The result is a product that looks plump in the tray but sheds a surprising amount of liquid when cooked. Customers report that a pound of market side can shrink by more than 20% in the pan, with significant pooling of liquid, a telltale sign of high moisture retention. The packaging provides a USDA inspection stamp and establishment number, but offers little detail on sourcing or how long the beef has been in the supply chain. The label's fresh claim is legally permitted as long as the meat has not been frozen, but federal guidelines allow up to 30 days from slaughter to sale. For shoppers, that means a product advertised as premium and fresh may be older and wetter than expected, with much of what is paid for lost as steam and liquid during cooking. The gap between the label and what ends up on the plate raises real questions about value and transparency in the so-called premium ground beef tier. Third on our list, Sam's Choice Angus ground beef carries the aura of an upscale product with the word Angus splashed across the label and a price tag that routinely tops $7.98 per pound in 2026. But a closer look at the fine print tells a different story about what shoppers are actually buying. Federal rules allow beef to be labeled Angus if just 51% of the animal's genetics meet the Angus standard, a threshold set by the USDA's Certified Angus Beef specification. That means nearly half of the cattle's lineage could come from other breeds, yet the product still earns the Angus badge. Behind the scenes, Sam's Choice Angus is processed by a single mega packer responsible for more than 40 million pounds of Angus-labeled beef every week. High-volume processing like this often relies on centralized grinding and packaging, a system that can encourage moisture retention in the final product. Moisture levels in testing in 2026 hovered close to the USDA's upper limit, with some samples showing retained water percentages that left less actual beef protein in each pound than the premium branding suggests. The label provides a USDA inspection stamp and establishment number, but little else about sourcing or freshness. There's no guarantee of farm-level traceability, and the Angus claim is built on a regulatory minimum rather than a guarantee of breed purity. For consumers, the end result is a product that commands a premium price for what may be only a slight improvement over mass-market ground beef, while still delivering a high proportion of water weight at the register. Number 4 on our list, Walmart's all-natural 93% lean ground beef sits in the heart of the store's healthy eating aisle, promising a cleaner, leaner option for shoppers who want to avoid excess fat. The label highlights all-natural and 93% lean, 7% fat, words that evoke images of unadulterated beef with minimal processing. But the reality behind the packaging is more complicated. USDA guidelines allow the term natural as long as the product contains no artificial ingredients or added color, but this does not guarantee anything about added moisture or the age of the beef. The USDA prohibits added water or phosphates in ground beef, yet the law does not require companies to disclose how much water is retained naturally during processing. In 2026, independent testing commissioned by Walmart itself used both oven drying and Carl Fisher titration methods to measure moisture content. The results showed that all natural 93% lean fell within Walmart's internal specification band, around 71% moisture by weight, just under the USDA's upper threshold for ground beef. That means for every pound purchased, well over 2/3 is water and fat, not lean protein. The product's lean claim refers strictly to fat content, not to the percentage of actual beef muscle or retained liquid. The packaging provides a USDA inspection stamp and establishment number, but no information about farm origin, cattle diet, or the exact age of the meat. For shoppers, the impact is clear when cooking. Even with the higher lean percentage, this beef still releases a noticeable amount of liquid in the skillet, and the cooked yield can disappoint, sometimes shrinking by up to 20%. The all-natural label offers no protection from water weight, and the absence of sourcing details or moisture disclosure leaves consumers guessing about what they are really paying for. In a year when grocery prices hit record highs, the gap between label promises and what ends up on the plate raises tough questions about value, transparency, and the real meaning of natural in the ground beef aisle. Number 5, Tyson's Walmart exclusive ground beef blend lands in the spotlight for reasons that go well beyond its familiar name. This product is marketed as a custom blend made specifically for Walmart shoppers, with the label promising a consistent fat ratio, often 80% lean, 20% fat, and the reliability of a major national processor. But in 2026, the story shifted from branding to the fine print as consumer advocates raised concerns about what is actually inside the package. While the USDA prohibits adding water or phosphates to ground beef, there is no requirement to disclose how much moisture is naturally retained during processing. Independent testing of Tyson's Walmart blend in 2026 found moisture levels that hovered at the upper end of the USDA allowable range, with some samples approaching 72% water by weight. That means a significant part of what shoppers pay for is not beef muscle, but water and fat that will cook away in the pan. The issue is not just about water weight. The label's fat ratio claim is based on raw analysis, not cooked yield. So what looks like a good deal in the store often turns into disappointment at home. Consumers have reported that Tyson's Walmart blend can lose up to a quarter of its weight during cooking, with a noticeable pool of liquid left behind. The packaging includes a USDA inspection stamp and establishment number, but offers no details about sourcing, cattle origin, or the age of the meat. And unlike some premium brands, there is no traceability or third-party certification, just the Tyson name and Walmart's exclusive deal. For shoppers, the result is a product that seems designed for value, but ends up costing more per serving once the water cooks off. The gap between the label and the skillet highlights how even big-name brands can leave consumers paying top dollar for water weight, especially during a year marked by rising grocery prices and ongoing questions about what is really in the package. Across all 7 brands, one fact stands out. Labels and price tags can disguise how much of your beef dollar buys water, not meat. When marketing blurs the line and regulations lag behind, shoppers carry the cost. In today's grocery aisle, transparency isn't guaranteed, only vigilance is.